I actually think our biggest overcoming aha moment was in our formula. Was creating the winning formula. You should have seen the amount of different trials and ingredients we were throwing together to try to make it perfect and work and do everything that we had envisioned in our mind that it could do. And then one day, Lee and I just remembered, from our experience of our own, chiropractic and Chinese medicine knowledge, that wait a minute, what about the combination of these? When magnesium and menthol work together, and, it might have the opportunity, which it does, to penetrate better into the body than either component alone. And so that was the aha moment. I can remember being so frustrated trying to come up with the perfect solution.
Welcome to the Yogi Triathlete Podcast. We are Jess and BJ, and we're on a mission to create a better world. It's the world we talk about all the time, the one that comes from the inside. By attending to our individual mind, body, and spiritual health, we give ourselves the grace to walk through this challenging world with authenticity and natural power. This leads us to a purposeful life, which equals fulfillment, and this, we believe, will yield us all a better world. Today, we're excited to be joined by two female entrepreneurs who are assisting athletes in feeling better in their bodies, which we all know has such an impact on our minds. Sloan and Enwei Li are healthcare practitioners, friends, and working moms with almost 30 years of combined healthcare experience between the two of them. In their over 15-year friendship, they have shared many patient success stories, methods of healing, and wellness go-tos. From their own experience with injury, coupled with assisting their athlete clients with injury prevention and healing, they kept running into a wall when it came to being mobile and healing at the same time. They became frustrated with the gap in the healthcare products market, and out of this came Heali, the first ever tape that offers pain relief, recovery, and support at the same time. Addressing an untapped area of the market, these ladies won over the investors on Dragon's Den, which is Canada's version of Shark Tank, or I should say Shark Tank is Canada's version of Dragon's Den, and walked away with a deal that gave them the financial oomph to forge ahead. BJ and I have been using this tape since November. Our athletes on Team Yogi Triathlete are also using it. And let's just say we couldn't wait to get these ladies onto the show so that more and more athletes can experience the support and recovery that we've been experiencing over these last few months. And yes, the product is amazing, but we really want to shine a light on the women behind the offering, because knowing who we are supporting is just as important as the support this product is offering us all. That said, Heather and Lee, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, we've been waiting for this interview now for a few months as we've been navigating our own lives and travel and holidays and all of that. So it's so great to have you ladies here. And I think where we'd like to start is really the start. Can you give us the backstory on this? I know I touched upon it a little bit, but we'd really love to hear it first person, when the inspiration started to come in. Can you take us through that?
Sure. Thank you so much. So as you mentioned, Lee and I are friends from long ago, from our youth, where we actually met at an import company that we were both working at. So I was training and starting to practice as a chiropractor, and really, focused on health and wellness, but had a side passion for sales and marketing. So joined this importing and logistics company to really get my feet wet with learning kind of selling and marketing, where I met Lee and we became really good friends there. And Lee can tell her story.
And I have the opposite path from Heather's experience. So I worked as director for sourcing, operation, logistics in the import and export company we met. And then I pursued my passion for Chinese medicine, studied it and practiced it. So I guess that's the combined of health practitioner experiences and me focusing on sourcing, logistics, operation, Heather focusing on sales and marketing. And that's how we made Heali unique and successful.
Yeah. So, I guess what really happened is we realized we had this diverse set of skill sets, both in our personalities and in our backgrounds, but we shared similar passions on health and wellness, patient stories of experiences that we had heard, or athlete stories about, patients or friends or family who had similar experiences where they couldn't get support and pain relief at the same time. And also, if there was something that existed like a brace, it was bulky and ugly. And so we started putting our heads together and thought, well, there's got to be a better way. And we saw that in the marketplace, really, the solution didn't exist, because before the creation of Heali tape, you either had to choose kinesiology tape or pain relief. But if you used any sort of pain creams with kinesiology tape, it would loosen the adhesive. So you couldn't have that combination together. So that, combined with some of the stories we were hearing from, Li's patients, of athletes that she was dealing with, and then that combined with an injury that I had where I injured my knee, and I needed that solution myself. And all of a sudden it didn't exist. And I didn't want to wear something bulky underneath my dress pants while I was going to meetings, or, I wanted a really fashionable solution to offer pain relief and support at the same time. And so, we put our brains together, and here came Heali tape.
Did you have, so I love that. When you had the idea, like, nobody else is doing this out there, was there ever a thought of like, well, there's probably a reason this isn't out there? Like, there's probably already been done research and a product development. Did it ever enter your awareness?
We thought probably that people at that point hadn't been able to come up with the correct solution, because the issue with tape is that it has to have the right adhesive. And we spent a year of development and testing. Like, it wasn't like we were just like rolled up our sleeves and threw magnesium and menthol on the tape and away we went. It took a long time to create the perfect formula, using the most absorbable ingredients, using natural ingredients, trying to come up with an effective formula that would offer your body, the perfect combination, but still being sticky enough to last. Sorry, go ahead.
I guess just for the needs wise, just from our patients and families and friends, and we do see there's a gap on the market. So it's just nobody comes up, as Heather said, the right ingredients or the right amount of adhesive to make it effective, and both from the pain relief and a support perspective. So that's how we found the market gap, and we come up with the Heali tape.
So how do you've got this inspiration, like, okay, let's see what we can do here. But how do you, so many people would have said, I don't even know where to start. Did you ever have that? Like, I don't know where to start, or did you know where to start?
I guess that's part of our skill set, is that we had each kind of had experience in relatable fields that we could draw on. To, like, Li had so much experience with sourcing and operations that she could draw on her experience from that. And I had so much experience with sales that it was, okay, well, once we do this, we can do this.
I guess it's just perfect skill sets. So from our medical background, we come up the innovation of this product, and we come up with sourced our different forms of magnesium, this percentage and the blends, and that's from our medical background. And for me, with years experience with dealing with the factories, the logistics, the operation, so sourcing is not a problem. And like Heather is fantastic at sales, so we kind of like get our parts figured it all out, and then we came up with Heali.
There were many iterations, though. So we started out looking at all sorts of natural ingredients that we could put in. We always knew we wanted to be natural. We knew what we wanted the outcome to be. So we knew we wanted pain relief and recovery and stability and, support and style. But maybe one day we'll show you our first iterations of styles that we came up with. That were not market ready.
I love that style was a piece of it. And one of your taglines, if it's not the tagline, is, it's so stylish that you may even want to fake an injury. I'm paraphrasing that. But so many people would have just looked over that. Why? What was the inspiration behind that being an important piece of it?
Well, I guess, one thing is that we noticed that it would be easy. I mean, we did go ahead and patent it, but it would be easy for someone to come up with another, variation that might try to compete with us, but it would be a little bit harder for someone to come up with, everything that we are and copy us. So I think the style was one thing that we also felt was missing in the market, especially the tapes that existed only seemed to be more male-dominated styles, and we wanted to have something that encompassed both men and women and all age groups. So it didn't necessarily have to be one age group. It could be the younger hip generation and it could be an older hip generation. But it didn't have to lend itself just to one type of athlete or one type of person. So I think we saw that gap in addition to the gap in what was needed for pain relief and recovery. And we thought, well, imagine you can fill two gaps now, and then it's a lot harder for maybe your competition to challenge you on both aspects.
Did you guys experience any roadblocks along the way, or maybe I'm sure there were roadblocks. Maybe what was one or two hurdles you had to really like get dirty and get down and really work your way through it?
You mean all the time? All the time challenges?
It's one of the things you kind of think you know about running a business until you're actually running it. You're like, I'm sure there'll be roadblocks, like one or two, right? So yeah, it seems like every stage we learn a little bit more about that we did things we didn't know.
Is there one that you can share with us that was, perhaps a turning point where, that place, I know BJ and I have experienced it, that place where 99% of the people would walk away and you kept going?
Well, I guess from my experiences, which really made a difference is we just launched our products. We just have the prototype. We have a small batch of production. And then Heather's pushing for go to a trade show. And the ECRM's like, I'm not sure, maybe we should go slow, just get our feet wet and just go to different small retailers. And then Heather has this grand opening for our sales, and she pushed it, and we went to the ECRM show, and it turns to be the best show. I think it's a turning point for our business. And then
because we won an award at that show as the most coveted new product, so we won. It was
the number one innovative product of the year,
and it was voted by big box retailers. So that right away out of the gate kind of set us on the map for excitement and opportunities. And that eventually led us to help close stores like CVS and Vitamin Shoppe. So we were able to, kind of be successful into store after our product landed. I actually think our biggest overcoming aha moment was in our formula. Was creating the winning formula. You should have seen the amount of different trials and ingredients we were throwing together to try to make it perfect and work and do everything that we had envisioned in our mind that it could do. And then one day, Lee and I just remembered, from our experience of our own, chiropractic and Chinese medicine knowledge that, wait a minute, what about the combination of these? When magnesium and menthol work together, and, it might have the opportunity, which it does, to penetrate better into the body than either component alone. And so that was the aha moment. I can remember being so frustrated trying to come up with the perfect solution.
Sure. That's true.
Do you both play off like that? I feel like, Heather, you're like, let's get this at a trade show. And Lee's like, well, let's just fine tune it a little bit more. Is that sort of the dynamic you guys work with?
That's our personality in the business.
Yep. Lee's the realist and I'm the visionary. The dreamer.
You need the two forces for a business, right? You need the drives and you need the stability. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We live that every day of our marriage and our business. And sometimes, it's let me lead into this question then. Sometimes it can create turbulence and friction as friends and business partners and honoring who you are and your innate drive and how you move through life, what has been a key piece to the two of you being able to stay in a partnership and move forward? What's been key with that, with, these contrasting essences that you both carry that really make a business partnership thrive, but also can create some friction?
We have really good communication. I think that's obviously key in any marriage or business partnership or even friendship. So we definitely are going to disagree a ton on, different parts or seeing things through your own lens. But I think at least we're always able to express our own feelings and honor the other person's feelings, even if we may not relate. So if it's important, Lee can say, this is important to me, even if you don't get it, and I appreciate if it's important to her, then it matters.
Well, I think for us, like when we have a sit down talk, it's also like for like a different, I guess, visions or different issues. I think we can almost reach a middle ground. Like we can kind of like, okay, so for example, if we want to push marketing, okay, let's maybe stagger it for a month or two. I see what you mean, but this is where I come from, cash flow budgeting points of view. Let's maybe stagger it. We're going to achieve the goal, but not maybe right now, maybe down in 2 or 3 months, and we do the same thing. So I think we always reach a middle ground, like from different parts of the business.
And I think also we have the similar end goal. Whatever it is, the creation is the beginning goal, and the end goal is to create many beautiful products that can help people that are all with the same, natural and style. So we kind of have the similar starting and ending points. It's just kind of the middle we're trying to figure out.
Just one more question on that I think is important, and also giving some insight into this beautiful partnership that has yielded this incredible product, the first of many, I really hope, because it's definitely changing the game for me.
Oh, thank you.
Lee, what has Heather taught you?
Optimistic, for sure. I guess the driven part. And that's definitely where I learned from her. Like, that's definitely just set up a goal and just driven to achieve the goal and be optimistic.
Yeah, that's what it takes. Heather, what has Lee taught you? What have you been able to garner into action in your life from Lee?
Yeah, I think more balance. Like, when you're headstrong and really driven, there's not much that can stand in your way as you're going through it. And I think Lee's really put balance into perspective for me. So, taking a step back, evaluating, figuring out different ways that things can be done, not necessarily always one way.
Still pulling on that. Like, you guys, entrepreneurs being in the hustle. I love this so much because you play off each other, handling, I'm sure you have numerous moments of rejection or, this isn't going to be for our work for us, or this isn't going to be here, but you also have successes, like moments to celebrate. How do you guys balance both of those and pull on each other to sort of pick the other one up? Or how have you gotten some tough skin in the game where it doesn't really matter anymore what anybody says? You're just so focused on that end goal that it doesn't matter.
I think feedback's always nice. And I don't think either Lee or I would discount, the feedback that we get, especially from the clients, patients, consumers that are using our product. We take everything kind of in, and then how can we take this and make our product better? Does it have merit? Evaluate it all and see if there's more that we can do. So I think that's always valuable. I don't think we would ever feel like we're at the top of the mountain.
But I guess just from learning from the optimistic from Heather, I think that's definitely helps, just going into the sales, we might have one door closed, but always her optimistic, okay, there's another door. And then they kind of my roles in this is, okay, just go get all the sales. I'm supporting from my perspective, from operation part of view, just whatever you close, we're going to make sure we're 100% fulfillment. That's kind of that's kind of a relationship in the business. I guess that makes it successful.
Yeah, because I guess you don't want to sell it and then not be able to fulfill any part of it. Like,
of course, yeah, I need Lee 100% on board, and she needs me. So we're matching almost perfectly with our roles and how we can support each other. And sometimes anything that hasn't worked out, let's say a sale that we wanted that didn't happen, almost like magically or positively works out in a different way. Well, now we have this inventory and all of a sudden you needed it like yesterday and we have it available.
But even I guess the energy between us is what they were never accused. Like, okay, this is your part of the work. You didn't finish. Like, it's okay. You didn't get this done. Or we didn't get this done. Let me help out. What can I do? Can offload you. It's this kind of a partnership. It's really, I think it's positive. Like, I really never point fingers at anybody. Look, you did this wrong. You didn't forecast this right. And how come we're late and anything. Like we work well as a team. I think the team just has unified. Then you just to your customers, to your to your suppliers, you're unified. You have one voice. I think it's really important.
Yeah, you're just going to get stronger because of these things that you're sharing, like these qualities that you're sharing in this relationship. Like Heali's going to continue to get stronger. You guys are going to get stronger as entrepreneurs and friends along the way.
Thank you.
It's also really fun for us. Like, I mean, I wouldn't want to do this by myself. I'm really excited to share it with Lee. It's so much more fun to...
I can never do this by myself, like just from sales perspective. If anybody says no, I'm just, okay, thank you.
I'm sorry to bother you.
Yeah, I mean, neither of us would want to do the other person's role. That's but true. Also, like, it's also really nice to have someone that I know I can 100% trust. And if I get sick for a few days, or if I want to take a few days off to regenerate with my family, Lee's got it, and then vice versa. So you have kind of that balance again, where you can each support each other when you need.
How did Dragon's Den change the game? Like, how badly did you need that deal?
Well, which might be a little bit of a surprise to the listeners, is we closed the deal on air, but we actually did not take the deal in reality. So we still could work something out with him. The door hasn't been closed, but it was a really incredible experience to be on air and to have to face the den and the dragons, and it was really nice exposure for Heali, and it was really fun to be chosen. Even just to get on was just so fun for us.
I think we both so much just on their journey as applying and be presenting on their shows. That definitely, I think, just as a personal growth, that's a lot to help for us, and just get the even just get an offer. I think it's a really big yes to us about our business. And I just to Heather's, and even later on, we talked with the Dragon. They doubled their offer, and then they reduced the percentage one to take, because they do see what we have achieved and what we can achieve. So that's definitely a big yes for us as well.
So when they film it, it's actually many, many more like months earlier to when it airs. And then by the time it airs, we still weren't finished negotiating with them. So you have all this time where your company is growing, during that time before you get to the time where your deal actually comes to a head. So, there was, we had grown much faster at that point than what made sense from the Dragons deal. So we may still work something out with them. We're still in discussions. Just might be a different kind of deal.
It's so cool to see all signs are pointing. Like even everybody's saying this is the way to, like, this is it. Like, it's going to work. So you can't really lose. Can't really lose at all.
It was a lot. They were asking for a lot of our company on air. So when you're on there and the headlights are in your face, you have to make a quick decision. And if that if we had to sign on the dotted line, then so be it. It still probably would have been an exciting opportunity for us, but we were fortunate that we were able to negotiate for money months later.
So let's talk about the ingredients that are in there and help people understand why menthol and why magnesium. And I'll just put in a little personal experience. So I use it on around my Achilles for just increased mobility. It's not that really hurts me, but old injury, there's some extra bone and some good stuff in there that's compromised the mobility over the years. And Achilles being it's not like a muscle belly I'm not really feeling a lot of the menthol, which I would expect in like an Achilles or putting it on a bone. But I have instant like relief and instant mobility. And so why? Like I put it on, I'm like, I have to ask them, like, why is it happening so instantly? And I'm thinking I shouldn't say I don't feel the menthol. I do feel it a little bit, but it's gotta be the magnesium. And that's what I'm curious about. Are these ingredients, what are they offering individually and what do they offer together? Is there something that happens when you combine them?
Yeah. So, glad that your ankle's feeling better. We're thrilled that we could both support you and help with pain relief and recovery. So magnesium and menthol are synergistic, which means that they work together. So each one of them have their own jobs to do, but if you can put them together, they'll actually absorb better into the body than either one apart. So menthol in general is known to temporarily block pain. So it can temporarily block pain, blocking the way you feel the pain on your skin, blocking the nerve receptors, sending that message up to your brain. And it also has other benefits.
Antiviral, antibacterial, those are all the goodies when you apply to your skin.
And it gives you that cooling sensation, and everybody's a little bit different how they will perceive sensation overall. So some people may feel that the menthol is very, very strong. Some people may feel it's not very strong. It just depends on your own body's like sensation and receptors, and different areas of your body will feel different depending on where you put it. Magnesium is a wonder element. I mean, it's so good for everything. Lots of people know about taking it orally. Maybe it's not as common to use it transdermally, but transdermally meaning through the skin. But one of the benefits of not taking it orally is you bypass your GI system. So if you take it orally and you overdose on magnesium, you can get an upset stomach. So whereas when you're using it on your skin and it's absorbing transdermally, it can kind of penetrate to that specific area, but you don't need to really worry about upsetting your GI. So that's one of the other reasons that we really like the application through your skin. And so magnesium is good for so much. It's good for spasms, twitches, cramps, electrolyte balance. It's good for flexibility. So it can actually promote flexibility. So allowing your muscle to go through its normal range of motion can actually prevent an injury from occurring. So you can actually wear Heali tape as a preventative during it or as a recovery after. So on the recovery aspect, it can actually help flush lactic acid. So when you have an injury or you've overused an area, you'll get a pooling of lactic acid. And then if you can flush that out, you can bring new blood to the area to provide new nutrients and to help heal that. So the flushing actually helps with like the recovery process. So magnesium does all of that. And, to your point, it's not necessarily the muscle belly, but you do have the tendon that's inserting into the bone, and it is all connected. So if you're promoting flexibility, that's going to help the overall muscle and tendon so that it doesn't yank on its attachments. So having flexibility and flushing lactic acid, inflammation away from that area will only promote the recovery. And then don't forget, you also get the added benefit of supporting it. So it's kind of an all-in-one.
So when you combine those two, the absorption is better. So it's really the combination ratio really makes a difference.
Just one last thing is the type of magnesium we use is the most, it's like the most effective. It's the most absorbable. It's the most effective. So it makes a big difference also it's not just, there's different types. So that matters as well.
The besides the instant pain relief, which is great, or the discomfort, what I have experienced, and I haven't experienced it in a really long time, is full range of motion through like my foot strike as like my gait is changing. And there's other exercises and things that I do, but since using the Heali tape, it's like I have that mobility now all the time. Not just when I have the tape on, like something has shifted and I have more mobility through my ankle joint, through the Achilles as I'm moving throughout my day, especially I notice it when I wake up in the morning. So, and perhaps more mobility equals just better everything. And that's what I wanted to ask, like from your experience in chiropractic and also Li, your experience with traditional Chinese medicine, how important is it for us to like be mobile like that in injury prevention and recovery?
Oh, I guess from Chinese medicine point of view, the whole health depends on the energy flows, right? So when you have the mobility, there's no blockage in the area. You have the proper energy flow. It prevents not only to help you with the pain relief, but also prevents the further, like the future injuries as well. That's another big part, important for our tapes. You use it for prevention. Right. So you know that area is weak, you know that area is a blockage, you use it. So there's no real damage occurs.
And just to add on, I think also, when you're not able to do the mobility activities you love, there's a mental component to it. You don't feel as happy. You feel down that you can't, I really wish I could go for a run, but I can't, or I really want to do yoga, but I know it's going to hurt. So, just the positive impact mentally of being able to do what you love and being flexible is another part to it.
I'm glad you said that. That was, I think I had shared with you, Heather, when I first used it, I was going into an Ironman after completing an Ironman 2 weeks earlier, after completing a half Ironman, and I was pretty beat up and banged up in my hip. But that confidence piece, way back, I had a knee injury and I had to wear one of those big clunky braces, right? I had to wear that, but it gave me confidence. And I haven't really used tape from then until really now. I do use like BioFreeze, so the menthol actual piece of it I've used, but this was going into the race. The 2 days leading into it, I kept putting on the tape, and was able to run. And I think that's what gave me, that little edge where I was able to run at least half the marathon. But you're talking, I swam and then I biked and then I was able to run. So eventually it was going to catch up. If eventually you can only go so long, 10 hours is a long time. But my point is, I had that mindset of like, I can do this. Like I can move through this. And it really felt good. And the other component of this I want to share, and you guys haven't mentioned yet, but I know you say a lot, is that when it gets wet, it actually maintains its stickiness. As long as you put it on, in my experience, earlier than not just the race morning, I put it on the day before, it gets some good adhesion. And when it gets wet, it actually reinfuses, and I feel that sensation. So when I was on the bike coming out of the water, I actually felt that for a little while. And then as I pour water on my head through the bike ride, I'm still getting that influx. So that was an experience I had with it. I'm still recovering from that with the help of Heali tape, which is beneficial. But I believe that there's a mind element of it. There's a piece of like confidence, this trust, this that you are healing. You're not actually regressing. Yeah, I love that.
Thank you.
It's a trust. So it's like this trust in the product because of the effects that I felt, but that's extended to, I have trust in this amazing ankle and Achilles of mine. That's allowed me to do so much. And I know that trust is one of your core values. When you chose that as a core value, what was the incentive behind that? Like why was trust added to that list?
Well, we're both healthcare practitioners in our training. And I think that, we took, I guess, what we feel was important to patients and wanted to kind of make all the consumers kind of extensions of that. So, not just to be able to believe and feel confident in our product, know that it was safe, know it was reliable, know that they could trust both Lee and I as well as healthcare practitioners. So I think I think it makes people feel better when they can have confidence that it's something good and safe and, can help them.
Yeah, and it also is like their trust, like it has to be some products we trust, like we used, we feel good about it. And then that we can then extend the offer of this products to people to have the goals that the product we offer Heali will benefits people some way. So I guess that's also the trust part come in.
Yeah, we want to make sure that anything we put our name to, we really stand behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a reflection. Yeah, reflection of you as practitioner. How is what you guys practice complement what Heali tape does? Because I feel like, I go see a massage therapist and I get some body work done and then I walk away, right? And then you just hope that this they'll do some of the exercises or you see a physical therapist. But the Heali tape sort of complements what you guys do because as they leave your practice room, and I'm assuming do you still practice to this day? Yeah,
I don't.
No. I'm still partially practicing.
Yeah, this is becoming a full-time overtime gig.
Yeah, I don't practice.
So Lee, does it complement your practice?
It does. And also, again, we have professional accounts like clinics, stuff like that. I'm trying to also talk as our experiences. It's really is extension of your service to your patients. Like they don't feel like they just leave your clinics, your treatment, and then that's it. It's like using the tape. It's like continuous care. Like, and you can, even sometimes the patients, they purchase the tapes, you can guide them. Okay, so this is where you can put it. And I think the fact that our tape is infused with the magnesium menthol really take the complicity, like the, out from the king tape from used by regular people. Like you don't have to follow, anatomies and muscles and tendons and all this that strictly as your typical king tape. This is basically what I tell patients or Heather tell patients is like, just where you feel the pain, put it on. Just stretch a little bit.
Cover the area.
Yeah. Cover the area, stretch a little bit. It's you feel the support and let a magnesium menthol do the work. So they feel confidence. They have a roll of tape. They can use that at home versus they have to bring that tape to a professional to tape for them.
And if they can go see a professional, all the better. Great.
Yeah.
We professionals always are one step above, of course. But if, in my previous practice, prevention is really a lot of what we're trying to teach. So if they can do the steps to prevent the injury from occurring, fantastic. That's even better. And a lot of the time, everybody has a busy life. So people are traveling, people are spending time with family, a pandemic hits, and you can't get to see practitioners. So this self-empowering people is a huge element of what we're trying to accomplish with Heali tape and our future products is how can people help heal themselves when they can't see a professional?
Mm.
Yeah, I love that, taking ownership of your health, something we really advocate for with our athlete teams as well. All right, let's talk about vision. Vision for the future. Not only vision for the future for the company, but vision for yourselves. Like, what do you guys see individually for your lives, aside from the vision of Heali?
If there were any free time outside of Heali, personally, I'd love to get back into fitness at a little bit more of a competitive space. It's been something that's kind of gone to the wayside since focusing on business took over. So maybe a little bit more lifestyle balance with, family and working out and trying to balance that with the business.
And what about for the company?
In terms of where we see it going?
Yeah. What's the vision? What's the grand?
Yeah. Pie in the sky.
Fast.
Yes, fast. No, we really want to bring on more products to help people, with the same kind of undertone. So beautiful, stylish products that allow natural healing and, pain relief and recovery that are other gaps in the marketplace that we can help fill to make, easy, accessible, transportable products that are, where function meets fashion.
Yeah, I think, again, just because with our both health practitioner background, I think it's really helping us to see the gap in the market. Like what is out there can be better, can help patients and can help people. And again, take healthcare in their own hands and do more prevention and then treatment and all this sort of good things.
And how about you personally, Li?
I think Heali is an extension of, I love helping people. And I think it's an extension of this to give a great products out on the market. I'm definitely enjoy the growth of the company. And I guess I'm more as like once, to have like more as a balance and you do, continue with, self-growth, and all this, do more traveling, stuff like that.
Amazing. All right, we need to wrap this up because I know we're short on time here. But one last question. What gets you guys up in the morning? What is like, let's go?
I'm really excited about this adventure. I got to tell you, like coming away from my previous job now into this and moving from an industry where, I also really liked working, but it wasn't the get up and excitement that I feel with Heali. Knowing that Li and I are going to talk every day and we're going to have all these fun things on the agenda to get through and figure out and accomplish. It's just, it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's definitely a great journey. Besides the, goals we set, we definitely enjoy the ride. And it's like every day it's new things, new skills to learn, new people to talk with. And then I think we have been like you guys, we've been met like fantastic, like people like so helpful, and it's just an amazing journey.
Beautiful. I love it. And this, everyone who's listening, is the product of just following something that you're curious about. And you just don't know where it's going to take you. And it doesn't have to be a company, but whatever it is, it could be a new hobby. It could be, an afternoon free for yourself. Like whatever it is, it will bring more fulfillment into your life. And I do believe that is a better world. So I want to thank you personally for the increased mobility in my almost 51-year-old ankle. It's amazing. I love it so much. And thank you so much for your time. And it's just so lovely to work with you ladies and then to have this time with you and to get to know you a little bit better. So we're psyched to continue to share this great product with the team, and we can't wait to see what you come out with in the future.
And thank you so much. We're so happy to be able to meet you guys and to work with you as well and to be featured on your podcast. Just, it's incredible. So thank you.